There's always a reason. And if we know that for ourselves, the same goes for every single person on this planet, even the people with mental illness. Welcome back to Dodo's Den, and today's topic is thinking how they think. And if I'm being completely honest, that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to say, because I don't know if I can really do that. But I know there's a way to work on that. And that's simply trying to walk a mile in their shoes, as the saying goes. People always said, imagine walking a mile in my shoes or their shoes. And that's basically telling you to think how they think. Imagine their perspective and the reasoning behind why they do the things that they do, or they think the way they think. So I'm pretty easygoing. I never really get too angry or agitated by people, and that makes me pretty easy to interact with. And some people love talking to me, and they love bringing up things because they know I won't get too angry or have such emotional response to it. But occasionally somebody brings up something that I cannot help but have an emotional response to or a reaction to, and sometimes I just can't keep that poker face going forever. And I've learned through interacting with so many people where I'm kind of just fine. They can tell me things. I understand that everyone has something that they could teach me, and I have something that I could teach everyone, that I need to be open. And sometimes it's hard, like I said, when you interact with those people or those situations come up where you have no choice, like you're fighting every fiber in your body to not react or just say something or do something. And I've always thought that if I can find a way to think how they think, maybe I can come to a better understanding of why they're saying this, why they do what they do, and it makes me empathize with them more. I don't ever want to treat this like a superiority complex, like, oh, they're not on my level yet, so, it's okay that they're thinking at a lower level. No, I don't want it to be like that, because it's very easy to think like that. Oh, they're younger than me, or they have less experience, or blah, 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 blah. You can say anything, and I really want to stay humble in the fact that you need to see how other people think how other people think, but you don't need to just be like, the way I think is better. I'm the best way to think. Anything that I think about and I do is obviously the best, and people who don't think the way that I think, they're wrong. I don't want to have that knowledge. See, I was recently having a call with someone on Zoom, and we were talking about the fact that I'm going into the mission field for 2 years after I graduate. And he said one of the hardest things ever is being someone who's open to change, and they're open for knowledge, and they're open to learn things from other people, but you also stay grounded. And you will not stay like someone who is very easily influenced by things people say. And see, I'm a Christian, and I understand that I have beliefs that I stand pretty firm on, and I have things that I'll hold true to, and I will stand on the hill until I die on some things. But I don't want to have that to be where I'm stubborn and I don't take advice from other people. So it's important to be open, to have a heart where you can take in information from other people, but also not think that you're right or you're the best way of thinking. Stay grounded in the things you know are true, but always open your mind for whenever somebody could possibly say something and maybe help you. Maybe somebody says something completely unrelated to what you believe in and you stand firm on, and it can maybe make you stand even firmer on that. And I don't know what that is, but I know that when you're in the process of trying to stay firm and you're trying to take in things from other people, you need to always think about why people do the things that they do. Think about the fact that if someone wronged you, if someone said something to you that was very interesting, it was very infuriating to you, maybe it just sparked something in you, you're like, why would they ever do that? Why would they ever say that? There's always a reason. There's never not a reason behind something. And that's what I want you to realize. There's always a reason. Even sometimes when people go crazy and it's mental illness, that could be the reason. But most of the time, it's not mental illness. It's just things that add up over time for certain people, and it causes them to do something. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's good. Maybe you have had so many good interactions in your life that you're bound to have greater interactions with other people, and that can really make an emotional response. They're like, wow, I really appreciate what they're doing. And on the flip side, you can have all these bad things that are happening to you, and in turn, you can maybe act bad towards someone else, and that's the reasoning behind that. There's always something. If you just see everything face value and you just look at me on this camera and you're just saying everything and you're taking in everything I'm saying and not thinking about all the things in my life that possibly could have led up to this, you may not truly understand why I'm saying something or why this matters to me, why I'm even trying to share a bit of knowledge to help you out. I know it can be really scary to think about that. Oh, I have to think about everything they've ever been through in their life. I don't want to think about that. And I'm not asking you to do that, but simply try your best in a given interaction or situation to not blow up, not act out of emotion, and try to see why people do the things that they do. It will make you feel so much better. And a prime example of this is whenever I have somebody say something to me, or maybe somebody gives me a response to something that I'm like, I did not even know someone could do something maybe that good or that evil. For instance, I had a breakup not too long ago. Well, it was quite a while ago. It was about a little under a year ago. And I was going through this breakup and I'm like, I cannot even imagine that a person can act this way. But then when I really thought about it, I had to sit back and say, I don't know what they went through, what relationships they went through previously, what things they didn't tell me, what things led up to this for them to act this way. Because there's always something. And when you think about it like that, you can avoid thinking that your way's better or you're always going to be right, and you can keep yourself from blowing up and acting out of emotion and then making the situation even worse than it already is. Whenever I get into an interaction where it's a little dicey and I'm scared and I don't know what's going to happen, I try to think, how did I get in this situation? How did this person put me in this situation, or how did this person even get to be in this situation as well? And it takes practice, and it's hard because it's a split-second thing sometimes. You really have to think, why? Let me not blow up. Let me not act out of my impulse. Let me not just do anything crazy. Let me think, why am I here? Why is this happening? For them or for you? There's always something. And usually in our lives, we can always think about something. When I think about why I wanted to make this video, why I woke up this morning, why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, there's always a reason, whether we know it or not. We have to search for it sometimes, but there's always something influencing the reason behind why we're doing something. There's always a reason. And if we know that for ourselves, the same goes for every single person on this planet. Even the people with mental illness. I mean, that's a completely different topic, but never, ever take anything at just face value, especially if it's something that sparks an emotional response in you and makes you act to where you would never normally act because you're mad or you're sad or you're maybe really happy and you don't want to do something, you don't want to jump the gun or act a little weird. Always think how they think. If you think how they think, you can really start to break down the reasoning behind why something is happening, and you can make any interaction so much better. You can have better relationships with people because you're realizing that I don't want to demonize this person. I don't want to act like this person is the worst person ever because I know there's things leading up to why they're acting the way that they're acting. I don't want to treat this person like they're weird, or maybe even I don't want to treat this person like they're the best person ever when I know some reasoning that's leading up to this. Maybe somebody who is the most nicest and best person ever, they've done that because they had bad things happen to them in the past, and maybe they don't want the fame or all the things that come alongside being a good person. And you're like, I'm going to refrain from overstimulating them or making them feel too good. You want to make them feel good, and you want to praise good actions and deeds, but then again, you don't ever want to make someone overstimulated. Like me, for instance, sorry if I'm tooting my own horn, but I think I try my best to be pretty optimistic and pretty personable with people and just be someone that other people like to be. Because I've seen too many people who are people that other people just don't want to be around. And I've always told myself, I don't want to be that. I want to make an impact, and I want to impact people's lives. But even for me, if I had people every single day telling me how great I was, I wouldn't really like it. Because there's reasoning leading up to that. My goal wasn't to get fame or, have all these people tell me how great I am. It was to impact them. So when you think about good things and bad things, Always think about the fact that there's reasons behind those things. If you can find a way, even as hard as it is, and I'm going to have to finish this video and figure out how I'm going to do it in my life, if you can think how they think, it can make everything a little bit better. With any person you interact with, try your best. Walk a mile in their shoes, as the old saying says, or just try to think how they think. Find out why something's happening, and it can ease you a little bit and make every situation a little less stressful and a little more beneficial to everyone. Thank you so much for watching this, listening this, consuming this, wherever you're getting it from. This is Dodo signing out, and peace.